Hello and welcome to Section 101, the podcast. Today we are going over the NBA draft, a little late, but better late than never. Just a quick reminder, we have short form content on YouTube 6 times a week. We are also on Spotify with these podcasts as much as we can possibly do. We have an Instagram page with important updates on the podcast and officially dropping this week. Section101.org. Check it out. Great work by everyone involved. Shout out to Tom Stope for an incredible job on that. I'm going to hand it over to Ronnie and our guest today, David Blaser, as they discuss this NBA draft.
All right, welcome back to Section 101. I'm your host today, Ronnie Decker, and I'm joined today by my guest,
David Blaser.
David Blaser. And we'll just get right into it. So, David, I just wanted to start off. Let's talk about the biggest storyline in this draft. Bronny James going at number 50, going to the Lakers in the second round. I don't know. I feel like this. We all know the envelopment behind this with LeBron, Coach Brown on the sideline. I mean, Bronny wasn't the best player in this draft by any means. Scored 4.8 points per game last year at USC. Obviously, coming off that scare with his heart and having problems last year before the season. Just want to hear what you had to say about this.
Yeah, I mean, as somebody who watches the NBA and knows the storyline, I think this was pretty obvious from the beginning that the Lakers were going to draft Bronny James. I don't know if they're going to do it in the first round or the second round, but the pick makes total sense. I do not think I don't think it was a good pick overall for the Lakers. I get why they're doing it because they want to keep Bron one more year, potentially get, further playoff run, maybe even make the NBA Finals. But I don't think that's going to happen. I don't like how the Lakers are going to shape up this year. It's not looking like a good team for them this year.
And we see that he just opted out into free agency, declined his option for this year. I mean, he's looking for more money, and obviously them getting Bronny James on this team is like another influence for him to come play back for the Lakers. They just signed, obviously, his podcast partner, JJ Redick, to be their coach this year. And they're really just
Yes,
trying to
they
keep
did.
him in LA and trying to make him happy. So I understand why
Yeah,
it happens. LeBron is LeBron. He's one of the best players of all time. Obviously, they're going to try and keep him there, but just a little bit of nepotism in the NBA, but we've seen this constantly. We've seen it with Thanasis and Antetokounmpo, the Bucks signing
oh for
him just
sure.
to keep Giannis happy.
Yeah, and I mean, he opted out. He wants more money. That makes sense, right? He's the only player remaining from his draft class. What I think back in 2003 is when he went
Something like that,
into
yeah.
the NBA. Yeah, he's the only one left, and I he will get more money, but you don't know if it's going to be with the Lakers. I'm 99% sure that the Lakers will sign him, but
Yeah, but that
there's always
1%, you never know.
that 1% you don't know, could he go to a rival team? Could he go back to Cleveland or Miami? I think
And
he
even
wouldn't fit
even
well
just in
there.
yeah,
He
even in
wouldn't fit
just this
well.
week, we see Paul George going to the 76ers. I mean, I don't know anybody
Yes.
who saw that coming.
No, that to me, I woke up this morning and I was like, "Oh my goodness." That was a major shocker for me. I totally thought that he was not going to go to the 76ers. I thought he was going to stay with the Clippers for at least another year. I thought he was
Yeah,
going to be a trade deadline deal. I thought he was going
for
to
sure.
move out at the deadline this year. But yeah, that was a shock. And
Yeah,
they pulled a big one on Maxey too. They signed
yeah,
Maxey to a big extension. I think it was like over 200 million for that one.
crazy. I mean, it's the NBA. You never really know what's gonna happen. So
Exactly.
with that out of the way, we'll head into the meat and potatoes of this podcast, the official NBA draft. And at number one overall, the Atlanta Hawks selected Zachary Rizache out of France. Rizache, 6'9" forward out of France, obviously. 19 years old and only 195 pounds, a little bit of a thinner guy. He's a big prospect piece, plays some good 3 and D. He can shoot the ball too. He's a very good catch and shoot threat. But I feel like this was like a sign from the Hawks that they're kind of starting to a retooling process. Obviously, we know they traded DeJounte Murray this week to the Pelicans. Didn't get too many assets back for him. They got a lot of picks though, and they're kind of
Yeah,
rebuilding and retooling, trying to build around Trae Young. And ultimately, I think this is going to be a great fit with Trae Young. A lot more spacing for him. He can kind of reel and deal with what he wants. And Reza Shea's a bigger guy. Who knows? He could be
yeah.
probably a paint threat too when he develops properly.
Yeah, exactly. I think being 19, this kid has a lot of potential. He has so much growth on him. I mean, he's still gonna grow. He's gonna get taller, and if he puts more
Yep.
muscle on, man, he's gonna be a offensive weapon. And man, I don't know, this kid's looking solid. Especially
Yeah.
all the players coming out of France right now. France is looking like the new USA superstar team, right? They're putting out all these different prospects, right? I think they had 6 players go in the first round, or six
Three
players
in
go
the
from France.
three in the
Three in the
first six
first
picks.
round. Yeah,
First
like
six picks.
that's
Yeah.
it's
Crazy.
absolutely insane, and they're all nice, solid, big guys.
Yeah.
Like
It's
this
a lot of
looking
talent coming out of France.
lot of talent. He is a little skinny though. I like your point there. I don't know how he's gonna match up with the strength and size of the NBA because they play really fast and really physical basketball, especially down in the South. That Southern Division is a strong division,
Yeah,
not physically
definitely.
strong, but like
But like it's a strong team. I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
so overall, I think Riza Shea, it's going to take a while for him to develop, and that's why I'm going to say for this pick, I'm going to give it a B minus, just because they had a lot of threats this year, and I feel like they could have made a playoff push, but they're kind of stepping back, and I understand why with this situation.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with the B minus selection on the pick here. I think as long as he grows, then I think this pick is going to be successful. If he turns out to be a bust, then it's kind of not a great choice for the Hawks here.
Yeah, for sure. And with that, we'll just head right into number two. The Washington Wizards select Alex Sarr out of also France again. These French prospects coming out of there crazy. Sarr is a 7 foot center. Sorry, with 224 pounds, and he's also only 19 years old. A lot of young guys in this draft. Sarr, in my opinion, was the best player in this draft, most talented. He's a good shot blocker, plays very good defense. He's got to work on his shooting a little bit, I would say, and scoring, but overall, I think he's going to develop very well in this new look Washington Wizards team.
Yeah, I went to Washington to see a Bucks game, and the Wizards were just an awful team. They were an awful team this year. Alex Sarr, this is a great pick for them. Really, he is a great two-way player. He's good at finishing at the rim. He does need to work on his shooting though, from outside, maybe even a couple threes. But on defense, this guy is like he's a tree.
Yeah,
He's so tall that it's hard for players to finish around him. And when you have somebody who's tall, and he's a big guy, he's 224 pounds. That's the kind of muscle you need to be a solid defensive player.
definitely, definitely. And obviously, we see they traded Danny Avdia this week as well for 2 first-round picks. They're rebuilding, retooling, whatever you want to say, and they're trying to get better and set themselves up for the future pretty well.
Exactly. I think he's also going to develop really well because he has experience playing professional basketball. He played in Australia. I don't know what team exactly. I think it was the
Played in
Perth.
Perth.
He played in Perth, wherever that is. But he has experience playing professional basketball, which not a lot of people who go into the draft don't have a lot of experience playing pro basketball, which I
Yeah,
think this will benefit him because he'll kind of have like oh okay, this is how this works, this is how this works. He has an advantage to getting into
yeah,
the NBA.
definitely. Then we'll head into number three. The Houston Rockets selected Reed Shepard, a freshman out of Kentucky. Shepard is a 6'2" guard with 182 pounds on him. Pretty decent low mass guy. He's only 20 years old. The best shooter in this draft, in my opinion. He's really tough, really physical. He plays like Jimmy Butler. He's gonna hustle. He's gonna play very hard, and he loves the game so much. I think this was a great pick by these Rockets, who are like looking to try and go get a star right now. They're accumulated a lot of first round draft picks on the past couple of weeks, just making a bunch of trades, and they're just trying to get a lot better and better. I think they're looking really strong for these next few years, and they could be a contender in this stacked Western Conference soon.
Yeah, yeah. The Western Conference looking good this year. The Rockets, if they keep on growing, I think they're gonna have a good shot. Reed Shepard was a great pick for them. Uh, he thrived at Kentucky. He was their outstanding player. He reminds me a lot of Drew Holiday. Really good on threes, can finish at the rim. He's excellent at defense. He has steals and blocks. For how small he is, he's a great player on defense. 6'2", 182 pounds. Like that's a great defender right there.
Definitely, definitely. Then we'll
He
head
also
into
has
Go ahead,
he
go
has
ahead.
some good ball handling skills. I like he has some good ball handling skills that makes him a lot of more of an offensive threat. Like he he knows how to be a team player.
Yeah,
That's what made him thrive at Kentucky because he passed the ball around, but when he had his opportunity, he took it and he scored every single time.
I think he's going to play very good with Jabari Smith too.
Yes. Oh, this Rockets team looking dangerous for that Western Conference.
They're looking very strong. And now we'll head into the fourth overall pick, Stephon Castle, head into the San Antonio Spurs, freshman out of UConn. Castle is 6'5", 210, and he's only 19 and a half years old. Um, Not the greatest shooter by any means, only averaged 27% from 3-point land. But he's going to be a very tough defender. He's going to hustle constantly, run up and down the court. I see a little bit of Andre Iguodala in this man. I feel like he can score when he has to, but ultimately he's going to play very solid defense, and that's what's going to help his team.
Yeah. This guy, threes are not his thing. That's just sometimes threes aren't your thing. He can't shoot threes. Inside though, he's great at finishing inside and his defense is impeccable. He helped UConn so many times this year with his defense, it wasn't even funny. He once he got back, he was injured for first part of the college season. And when he came back, UConn's defense was so good. They were one of the best teams on defense in college basketball. And I think that's what helped them win the championship this year, but the with this developing Spurs team, oh, he's gonna fit right in. This is a great pick by the Spurs.
Definitely. I think that catch and shoot and that pick and roll threat, especially with Victor Wembanyama, who is a better shooter for his size, it's going to be deadly.
Yeah,
And then
exactly.
we'll head to
Exact
number
and
5 overall, Ron Holland going to the Detroit Pistons. I'll let you take the lead on this one. What did you think of this pick?
Ron Hall. I was kind of indecisive around this pick. I think that the Pistons are a developing team. I think they could have gone better, but it just kind of seems if you he's a big guy. He's a big nah, he's not big. He's a yeah, he plays big. He plays like a big. He's a smaller guy, but he plays like a big. He's physical and he has a lot of potential to grow. His shooting's pretty good. His defense is all right. Um he did okay in the G League this year, but I don't really know. I think it was kind of a misfired pick for the Pistons here.
Yeah, I kind of liked it. I mean, he's a very athletic wing. He's going to run at the basket and he's going to dunk it half the time. He's going to lay it up. He's going to play very aggressive. I think he fits pretty solidly into this Pistons lineup. I mean, obviously they've got Cade Cunningham, they've got Asar Thompson, Jalen Durham. And then there's Tobias Harris, who's playing small forward. I think this is where Ron Holland will slide in behind Tobias Harris. He's probably going to play a little bit of the two, maybe trying to work out his what he can do in the NBA. Gonna find out how he is, but he's not the greatest shooter. Shot under 30% from 3-point line this year. I mean, he's obviously a tough defender. We've seen him explode to the basket in the G League this year.
Yep.
I think he's gonna
Yeah.
play some pretty solid defense and bring some pretty solid value to the Pistons, who really needed an athletic player in the league.
Yeah, I think he can with his potential right now, I think he can play anywhere for a 2 to a 4. He has so much potential and growth on this Pistons team. They have a lot of opportunities for him to work the ball around, especially with Cade Cunningham. Cade Cunningham taking the 2. He can play the 4 or the 3, and with Tobias Harris, I think this is gonna be a nice fit for Ron.
Definitely. And with that, we'll just head right into the sixth pick. We got Tijan Salon out of Cholet in France. Another Frenchman taken off the board. This one I feel like was a bit of a reach. I think the Hornets could have traded down and gotten him. He's a 6'9" forward, 203 pounds. He's only 18 and a half years old. Very, very young. Obviously, the Hornets are rebuilding right now. They're trying to build around LaMelo Ball. It's going to be, I like this kind of package deal with him and LaMelo. I think he kind of plays like Aaron Gordon a little bit. He's going to play good defense. He's going to hustle. And he's very versatile. Like, he can play every position on the court pretty much, other than point guard. And he's a pretty solid passer as well. We should see him develop pretty well in
Yeah.
this Hornets position, but I didn't really like this pick. I think there was better picks available. Like, I would have taken Donovan Klinging personally, or Zach Edey, someone to pair with LaMelo Ball, a big center.
Yeah, I totally agree. I don't think this was a good pick by them. He lacks one thing that I noticed during the draft. He lacks ball handling. He's not a good ball handler, and at his role, what his role is going to be down there in Charlotte, I think he's going to need to be a good ball handler, and he's going to need to get open. and make those shots. He's not good at moving to create shots. That's one of the things he struggles with, along with his ball
Yeah,
handling. You need to move to make shots, especially when he's a big man. He's going to be playing either the 4 or the 5 when he's down there, and I don't know. He's gonna
yeah,
have to he's gonna have to get he's gonna have to be a little bit more athletic down in the post, I feel like.
yeah, we should see some development out of him, but I don't think this is going to necessarily be a player who ends up going super far in the NBA.
Yeah,
And then
no,
we
I
and
think
then we have go ahead.
no, I was just agreeing with he's not gonna go very far.
Yeah. And then we have one of my favorite picks in this year's draft. We have number 7, the Portland Trailblazers select Donovan Clingan out of UConn. Obviously, Clingan won 2 championships down there in UConn. Very integral part of this last one as well. One of the best players on that team. Averaged 13, 7, and 1 and 2 this year with 2.5 blocks a game, which is just insane out of a college player. He's a lot like Rudy Gobert or Marc Gasol, who's going to play in the paint. Really, that's where he's going to live. He's going to rebound, beat everyone on the boards, and try and score as much as he can down there in the paint. I like his shot blocking as well. He's a very good threat to that. I just think this is
Yeah.
a great pick for a Portland Trailblazers team, and I can't wait to see the pick and roll with him and Scoot.
Yeah. Oh, this is a great pick. I actually had him going earlier. I thought he was gonna go in the top 3 at least, but I guess not. He terrorized everybody in the Big East this year, and he was very very important to UConn winning the championship. His blocking and ability to score down low is just it's amazing. It's amazing. If he can keep this up like he did in college, this guy has Hall of Fame potential with his frame. This is a great pick. And if he improves his outside shooting just a little bit, he'll be unstoppable. Nobody will catch
Definitely.
up to him.
Yeah, he just plays really run at the rim and do what you can down there, but we should see him develop pretty well in the system as well.
Yeah.
And then at number 8, we see the Minnesota Timberwolves trading up with the Spurs to get Rob Dillingham out of Kentucky. Obviously, Rob Dillingham was one of the higher rated prospects in the draft. He was very, very, very good at Kentucky last year. Averaged 15% while shooting 44% from three in college. That's just
Yep.
amazing. One of the better shooters. He's a very good ball handler. He's a pull up threat too. He's gonna
Yeah.
move and he's gonna get around. He reminds me a lot of someone like Lou Williams or Bones Highland. I feel like he's a little bit more athletic than those guys, but I feel like as he develops, he's going to be very good. And the only problem with this pick is I think it's going to be really hard for him to find a role in this offense with Rudy Gobert, Cat, and Anthony Edwards running the team. Sometimes they kind of get
Yeah.
nearsighted and do what they have to do first before looking to pass and make something else happen with other guys.
Yeah. I don't know about him. I don't understand why the Timberwolves made the trade to get him. I thought Rob Dillingham, he was going to be a great pick in that Spurs team. But it kind of seems like the Timberwolves might be going through a rebuild, might get Mike Conley out, and they might put him at the point guard. He is small enough, and he's very quick. His outside shooting is great. This will help the Timberwolves team a lot. They got Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards is such a versatile player. He can do whatever, and he'll be fine, right? If you add Rob Dillingham to him, that they'll be an unstoppable duo. That's just going to be a dangerous pair of shooting guards for them.
Definitely, definitely. Then we have number 9, Zach Edey, going to the Memphis Grizzlies. Obviously, Zach Edey, a very, very good player in college. Questions I've had in the NBA, he is not athletic at all. You see him in college, he cannot move. He's hustling down the court and he's just breathing really heavy. He looks a lot like Jokic, but he cannot pass like Jokic. I think he's going
Yeah,
to struggle in the NBA. But if he was going to go somewhere, I wanted him to go to the Memphis Grizzlies. I think this is the best situation to succeed. Obviously, him and Triple J are going to provide a very, very tough rebounding team to defeat. And they're going to block everything that comes into the paint, honestly. Zach
yeah,
Edey's going to be a lob threat for John Morant. And the only downside I see to this is Edey really can't do anything else other than score in the interior. And he kind of can clog up that paint when John Morant's coming head of steam down to the rim.
yeah, yep. And you said that perfectly, Ronnie. He's tall. That's it. He's tall. He's not a very athletic player. He can't hustle up and down the court. He doesn't have that NBA conditioning in him yet. His height is gonna be the one advantage that he has, right? He can get the rebounds without even jumping, right? if he just throws up the lob, all he has to do is do a little tapping. He's so tall that like no players can stop him. He's bigger than most centers, right? And he's
Yeah,
a center. That's gonna make him hard to guard. But him with sorry, with Memphis's ability to drive in the paint with especially with John Morant, he's coming back this season. I think that this could be a little bit of an interesting situation that they have down in Memphis.
yeah, we should see some development out of him. But again, this is not one of my favorite picks. I think this is the place where he should have gone, but I feel like they could have traded down or even waited to get him in the second round. He wouldn't have fallen in the second round. Shouldn't say that,
Yeah,
but they could have dropped down a few picks and still have
exactly.
gotten their guy.
Yeah,
And then we'll
I
go
thought
right
he
in the
was I thought he was going to go to the Bucks. I heard some stuff that was going to link him here, but I didn't think he was
yeah.
going to be a good fit here.
I I didn't hear many guys picking him in the top 10, but
Yeah, me
I
neither.
guess because he had a good
Was
workout with the Grizzlies and they liked him, so
yeah, he was kind
that's
of a
fair.
sleeper pick almost.
Yeah, we'll head into then number 10 with Cody Williams, brother of Jalen Williams, going to the Utah Jazz, a freshman out of Colorado. Played pretty solid in college this year. Didn't really like this pick particularly. He's a wing. He's not really doesn't really fit in very well. Obviously, the Jazz are rebuilding. Probably going to trade Laurie Markkinen before the offseason's over. Um, should be decent on this team. I mean, I'm not seeing it very much, but see kind of shades of Jalen Rose, honestly, and I don't think it's really going to work out for the Jazz in the end. Obviously, this was one of the weaker draft classes we've had in a while, but I don't know. I just feel like they could have gotten better talent or a better prospect.
Yeah, I think they do need a shooting guard, so I understand the pick here, but I feel like they could have gone somebody with better, somebody who would have fit their team better suited to their team than Cody Williams. I don't know really why they did this. He's on the smaller side for being a shooting guard. He's tall, but he doesn't have a lot of muscle on him. He can finish at the rim and he can shoot, but I feel like his defense is lacking a little bit.
Definitely, definitely. We'll head right into it then with number 11. The Chicago Bulls take Matas Buzelis, one of my favorite picks so far. Matas, I mean, he's a lot like Franz Wagner in my opinion. He's gonna play very well in this Bulls offense. A good point forward almost you could call him. He's gonna play off ball defense very well. He's got a really good feel for the game, and he loves the game. He wants it more than anybody. He wants to be great, and he's gonna put in that work. Obviously, you saw that interview. He wanted to go to Chicago. He's just a great fit for them.
Yeah, two things that stood out to me were his defense and his ball handling. This kid, he has the frame of a small forward, but he plays like he's a point guard. This this
Yeah.
this is very he's so versatile. I really love this pick by the Bulls. This will help him now that DeMar is probably going to be starting to play the power forward more often now that they got Matthias Buzelis. This was a really good pick by the Bulls. Very smart on their part.
Yeah, to start that new era of Bulls basketball with him, he's going to be alongside Josh Giddey. We won't touch too much on him just because it's a sensitive topic, but um, I like this pick. Matas, he's from the Chicagoland area, and I think he really wanted to be in Chicago, and I'm real happy for him.
Yeah.
And then we'll head into number 12, the Oklahoma City Thunder, selecting Nikola Topic out of Serbia. Topic was one of the top prospects last year, had to redeclare because of an injury, and just fell so far down. Topic, he's got a good feel for the game, and he's a decent ball handler. I don't really know. I don't think he's gonna be the greatest player in the NBA. He's a solid guard. I see a little bit of Gordon Dragic, who's gonna just kind of be behind the scenes a little bit. He's a decent shooter for his height, but he's just gonna he'll come in, score like 10 points a game sometimes, and then other days he'll start and score like two.
Yeah. This he's tall. He's tall for a point guard. 6'6", 203 pounds. That's a solid guy. Um, it could translate well or it couldn't translate well to the NBA. I think that if he works on his shooting, pull up shooting off the ball, getting open, I think that he'll be a good addition to this Thunder team. To be honest, when I first saw him, I thought that they were drafting Nikola Jokic for a second, which kind of
Yeah,
confused me. But then I read the name and I was like, okay, this is a different guy. But I hope he does well. I think that the Thunder definitely needed this, getting rid of Josh Giddey, but now they have Alex Caruso, so we don't know how this is going to turn out.
Yeah, we'll find out. And I feel like if you're a prospect, one place you really want to go is the Thunder. They're really good at developing
Yeah,
players, and it's a good situation to be right now. Then
yeah.
we'll
I
head
mean,
ri- we'll head right into
we
number 13. Then Devin Carter going to the Sacramento Kings, a junior out of Providence, so a bit of an older guy here. He's a guard, 6'2", 193 pounds. Averaged almost 20 points last season. Played very good on that Providence team, and he plays really good defense. I see Drew Holiday in this kid. He's gonna score. All right, that's not his main thing, but he's gonna play really really good defense. He's a good hustler, and he's gonna dive for balls that are going out, and he's also a pretty decent shooter too. Almost shot 40% from 3-point land last year in college, and he should be a very good, very versatile player.
Yeah, smart pick by the Kings here. As a Marquette fan, this kid terrorized terrorized our offense and our defense. It was hilarious watching this kid. He is so quick. His ball handling it's not perfect, but it's really good. He has a small enough frame where he can get around defenders and he can pass. He's not afraid to pass the ball, let things take a course, and then when he's open, he shoots. He's dangerous when he shoots. And his defense, like you said, he shows some shades of Drew Holiday. I like that. That's what the Kings need. The Kings need a player who's good on offense and even better on defense.
Yeah, he just plays really strong defense, and he's a tough guy. Now, with the last pick we're going to cover fully, we have Bub Carrington going at 14 to the Washington Wizards, a freshman out of Pittsburgh. Almost 19 years old. He'll be 19 in a couple months. He's 6'4", 195 at a guard. Very big guy. Very big guy. He's got a lot of playmaking. Good pull up threat. I don't know. It wasn't my favorite pick, but they're going young. The Wizards are starting over fresh after this Bradley Beal, John Wall era has ended. Unfortunately, great styles of play live when those two are together. We're seeing a new look Wizards now. I mean, Jordan Poole probably going to be out of there pretty soon. We got Bub Carrington. Obviously, they got the best pick in the draft, in my opinion, with Alex Sargo in number 2, and they're starting over. They traded Danny Avdija now for 2 more first round picks, and it's a new era of Wizards basketball. And I think Bub Carrington's a good guy to have at your guard for that.
Yeah, I agree. They're starting over, and that's clear. That's been clear for a while. Getting in these new guys, I think if you keep them together and you allow them to grow and develop, learn each other's playing styles, work together, that they can become a good team. Now, the Wizards, I don't think they're going to be a great team. Maybe playoff hopeful, but not likely because they're going to have a young team. They're going to have to develop, and it's going to take them a while. But Bub Carrington, he has potential to grow. He's a big frame for being a point guard, and I like how he can develop here. I think this is going to be a good opportunity for him, and hopefully he can move on and have a solid NBA career.
Definitely. And then quickly, I'll just have you give your favorite pick that we did not cover. So I'll give mine first. At number 17, the Lakers took Dalton Connect out of Tennessee. He's an older guy, which is why he fell so far in this draft, but he is a shooter. He is a lights out shooter. He's going to shoot your lights out. He's going to pair really well with AD and LeBron James if he resigns. I expect him to. And he's got the clutch gene. He's very experienced, played very good at Tennessee these past few years. He's a pull up threat. He plays solid defense. I really just love this pick. I see signs of Chris Middleton, honestly.
Yeah. Uh, for my pick, and not to be biased, I think Tyler Kolek was a
Oh
great
my
pick. Oh,
gosh.
it was such a steal for the Knicks. I mean, if I had to bet money on who's gonna win the championship next year, oh, I bet on the Knicks. The Knicks are looking dangerous. This team looks like they can go head to head with Boston. Kolek, he's not the greatest offensive player, I'll be honest. He's really, really good, but he's not the best. He's good at the pick and rolls. His defense,
Yeah.
though, I think that will help the Knicks team. The Knicks lack on defense slightly, but this is looking like a good pick. I hope he does well in the NBA.
Yeah, he'll be a good passer for them, I'm sure, but I don't know. Didn't love him, didn't hate him. He's a little bit old, but we'll see how it works out.
I thought he
And
was
with
going in the
that,
first round, man. I'm
yeah,
sad he didn't
okay.
go in the first
Well,
round.
you're also a Marquette fan, so
Hey, I can't help
well.
it.
And with that, we'll just end this out right here. Like Ben said, check out our Instagram, our YouTube. We're posting shorts daily. We're switching up the format now, trying to get more long form content out. We got a website. Check out section101.org. Tom Stilt did an amazing job. And if you want to be a guest and you're in our area, put in your contact information. We'll reach out to you if we can get you on an episode sometime. I just wanted to thank David Blaser. You did a great job today, man. I really appreciate you coming on here last second like you did.
No problem, Ronnie.
Without further ado, we'll just send it off to Ben for the end.
All right,
See
yeah,
you,
guys,
everybody.
thank you for listening. It's been a great podcast. I will be doing more on the wrestling side up next in terms of podcasts. We will have the MLB draft review, dropping middle of July, and then top of August, SummerSlam review. It's gonna be an awesome summer for Section 101. It's only gonna get better as we go on. So thanks for listening. Hope you have a great day. See you soon.